I've been a student of management and entrepreneurship for close to 2 decades. And I can say it over and over again, if you have the wrong team member on your team, it will roast your progress. It will deny you of rapid growth. Now, the quality of people you have on your team determines how far your company can grow. So you cannot afford to get it wrong. So let's take, for example, any kind of business can get it wrong, but not a startup. If it's a small business, you need every hand to actually be on deck. You need everybody to be able to roll their sleeves and get those hands dirty. Now don't forget, it's not about the number of heads you have, because most people celebrate, men in our business, we have 500 staff, we have 1,000 staff. It's not about the head count. It's about majorly if all heads really count. So you want to make sure that every head in your business counts, and you must be deliberate about it. Don't forget, when Facebook was buying over Instagram a couple of years ago for $1 billion, now Instagram only had 13 employees. You know, Jesus also, when he wanted to take over the world, when he was campaigning to take over the world, preaching the gospel, he only had 12 people. So you need nothing more than 12 good heads if you want to run into billions. So you must be deliberate about choosing the right person to join your team, or else you deprive yourself of growth. So the cost of having a misfit goes beyond the financial impact, because when you have the wrong person with the wrong character, that person, his attitude can be highly contagious. I can tell you, it's more than coronavirus. It's contagious, and it's called the law of the bad apple. This guy will ultimately destroy everyone. And most times, if you don't get them out as fast as possible, you know what's going to happen? Now, by the time you're getting them out, you might end up losing all your team members. Don't forget, even when Lucifer was a very high performer in heaven, now it took God a long time to get him out. When God finally decided to get him out, he went with 1/3 of the angels. So when it comes to you having the right person in your team, when you spot a wrong character, it's possible they are very good singers. They might be very good performer, but they have bad character. And that bad character, if you don't get them out first, it sinks the ship of your organization. And you cannot afford them around you as a small business owner. Employees with bad habits, they are extremely unpleasant. Employees with bad habits are extremely unpleasant to your team. They can easily kill your business. And I can tell you what they do sometimes. They deprive your business of moving, of mobility. They deprive your business. They hold it back, and that you cannot move. The reason why most business find it hard to spot them is sometimes they come with the aura of performance. Don't forget what I discussed earlier about Lucifer, one of the best singers in heaven, with a bad attitude, bad habits. He ate up 1/3 of the team in heaven. That when God was about to deal with his issue, what happened? He lost 1/3 of his team. Entrepreneurs must be careful when it comes to these people. So many times they can, they look, most times they act as though they are politically correct. They always embrace management ideas, and when they're no longer there, they eat up management and shoot management by the leg. You need to be deliberate and wage war against these people. I've seen it. I've been through it for years in business, and I'm telling you, if you don't wage war with them the way God had to wage war with them, the eat up, and your business will never know peace until you get them out of your business. Even though they are performance, even though they bring poor profitability, but the fact that they are toxic can kill your dreams. So getting the right employees is important for your business, especially if you are a startup. It's very, very important. And it can be a very serious business because I remember one time I was having a session. I was trying to hire for a company, and a lady came in with anointing oil over her head. You know, that if they see at me, they will pick at me. And I also realized that the same way people use anointing oil for recruitment, the same way people use jar. So sometimes when people come in, just your head will just swell up. But any which way, in all these mysteries, you must end up with the right kind of talents. He that findeth a good employee findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor from the Lord. Because when you get it right, your business begins to move. So what I'm going to do now is to help you. I've been through this for years. I've been recruiting, hiring for enterprises for over 17 years. So I can tell you for fact, and not only recruiting, see them through to see that they become high flyers in different enterprises. What I want to teach you is going to help you land yourself a great employee that will help your business survive and grow rapidly. So I'll be teaching you 5 things you can do to increase your success rate of landing yourself with the best kind of employee. Number 1, the first thing you need to do is to go with your guts. Sometimes you have these feelings telling you not to. You know, especially when you've ticked all the boxes. I'm talking about you've seen this guy as a performer. On paper, it looks like dream come true. But when you have this gut feeling that there's something, restraining you from making decision, don't go in that direction. Oftentimes, we end up regretting it. And that's why, have you ever had this issue before, that one of your talents is going after destroying the enterprise, and you started telling yourself that, and I saw it, I never wanted to. There's always this gut feeling that we downplay it. Don't downplay it. Make sure whenever you have that kind of feelings and you're not clear about a particular talent, don't force yourself. Because what happens to HR and leaders or entrepreneurs is because we want to fill a role and we don't have time. Our time to fill is so short and we just want to fill by force. It's just like you getting married by force. If you have that thing in you saying don't, please don't. Go with your guts. Number 2, reference the references. Small business are quick to hire. Sometimes we don't even have time to do the checks, to reference the references. Meet the people that these guys have worked with before and find out their previous colleagues, previous MDs. Find out about this person. In the multitude of counsel, there can be safety. So make sure you don't just jump into it. Find out. You see that maybe some persons probably slept with someone or got engaged in probably sexual harassment or something. Avoid negligent hiring. Make sure you reference the references. Number 3, use the third person's perspective. I want to talk about this third person's perspective. I mean third person. So don't go only with your gut. Ask the second, ask the third, because sometimes we might be biased. Okay, we have our own bias ourselves. That might not be good for our business. So make sure the third person you're asking is someone that understands your vision, understand what you want to do, understand what your business is all about. Not just asking any random person. People that have been through it before. You might even ask similar entrepreneurs that have gone through what you've been through before, or someone that understands where you're going. Make sure you don't downplay the third perspective. Very key and very important. Number 4, cut before ringing. I remember one time ago, I did a training called no ringing, no dinging. You should cut before ringing. Especially when I didn't add on to you, I must cut you for 14 days to 90 days. Because if you put the ring in the person's hands, it will be difficult to remove. So cut before ringing. You can spend some time, because most times when we end up with a bad hire, we've actually known the first 30 days. What we're just doing is to wait and struggle. I've seen a lot of leaders that have ended up with a bad hire and they're regretting because they've signed off that contract. So be very careful to cut before ringing, either giving a 14 days, 3 months, 1 month probation, and cut with it as fast as possible to discover all the things you ought to discover to know whether you have the right person on the bus. Number 5, set clear expectations. And if they're not met, fire fast. We live in an environment whereby people are more relationship oriented, and over a period of time, people start building or signing psychological contracts, whereby if you're not careful to confront it as fast as possible, it might be difficult to remove the ring. So make sure your expectations are clear, and if they are not met, take that person off as fast as possible. Now, I'm an advocate that you must follow the right disciplinary process, but whatever it is, make sure whenever you see someone not the right fit, get that person out as fast as possible. So before I wrap up this session, there's a hard truth that no matter what you do, every HR leader, every CEO will get it wrong at some point. But when the horse is dead, you need to dismount. Whenever you get it wrong, you must trace back your path as soon as possible, or else you will be lying down with the enemy. And that's not good news for you. Just imagine, have you ever sat beside someone that is fatting all through the trip? When you're traveling, I remember one time I ate beans, egg, I ate milk, beans, I traveled. As I said, fasten your seatbelt. I pulled it up. And I can tell you, when the plane started cruising and bumping, I started farting subtly. Now, those guys that were on my roll, it was terrible for them that day because they were sleeping with the wrong person. It disturbed them so much that when we had a stopover, those guys stood up. You could see that they were fed up. They nearly died. Make sure you avoid sleeping with the enemy. Get them out, or else their fat will kill you and frustrate your business journey. See you in my other episode. Have a wonderful time.
CEED Academy, empowering people